We are back. We are human again. We have a little bit of questing around. And now we are talking to Alfie Toad. I mean, Alfie Node. Where is Kryl indeed? That's a good question. It's funny how normal the forest seems now. As a toad, it was all so much more ominous and threatening. Lol. Welcome back. I trust you found Aaron Val, then? Yes, we did. Well, and he found us, to be fair. Ribbit. Interesting. I had a feeling you would learn something important, even if that something was simply a confirmation that no one knows much of anything. We should share this with Kral, then discuss how we'd like to proceed. Assuming we find her back at the farm, she was still behaving oddly, so I bade her return and rest there. Perhaps not the best decision in hindsight. Would you mind checking near those flowers she was so entranced by? The rest of us can survey the more distant areas, just in case you decided to wander. I shall. What wouldn't I do for you, Yoshtula? I mean, what? Wow, that's, it's a bit of an area, isn't it? How do I get back up here? I guess around here? The flowers were here-ish, weren't they? Nope. Okay. Thought they had been here. More up there, maybe? Oh yeah, there were more up here. They are here, and of course she's here. Makes sense.
For you. The spell will keep it from wilting. She said you would need it for the journey ahead.
Interesting. Oh, I don't have to keep clicking.
Will you speak with her now? I cannot hope to match Minfilia's clarity, of course, but...
Oh. She's using Kryl as a conduit, basically. Wow.
Thank you. Do not worry. She has lent me her body for only a moment.
Eidolon is really fucking weak, holy shit.
Just as I could not save the first from the flood of light, it has become arduous for me to interact with the physical world without assistance.
How did you show yourself that on the boat?
Though I might converse with you for a time, the incorporeal form I assumed on the ship would be incapable of casting even the simplest enchantment. It is in the depths of the ethereal sea, the place to which all life returns, where my influence is greatest.
Okay, makes sense.
After Minfilia's sacrifice on the first, it was to the sea, here in the source, where I ferried her soul. I wished that gentle spirit to find rest in the world she loved so well.
That's nice of you.
Her, and another who may yet have a part to play, though that will depend on you.
Emet-Selch, maybe?
Take the flower. Walk free, for you are free. To go where you wish. To believe what you will.
Or Elidibus. No, Elidibus should be in a tower.
That gloom will be your guide. Test and proof of your conviction. In darkness, seek joy. Surrender not to sadness. And see beyond despair. Walk free and bear the light for others to follow. Together, raise it aloft and let it shine till the end, blinding and radiant.
Walk free indeed.
That was all too brief. Already she seems so far away.
She does.
My apologies if I startled you. Ever since we began our descent into Labyrinthos, I had sensed another's will, straining to reach out.
We are closer to the Ethereal Sea, so I guess it
Even
makes sense.
with my particular talents, though, I was unable to make a connection at first. So weak and tenuous it was. Once I took hold of that wispy thread. Imagine my surprise to discover it was Heidelin herself. Needless to say, it seemed wise to learn what we could before letting go.
True.
Her answers were more cryptic than I would have liked, but at least she left us with a guide of sorts, that unusual flower. Yes, we are definitely making progress.
You can't be serious. We've done nothing wrong.
Excuse you? Oh, hello there, Daddy.
Master Fortuno, what business has the Forum with us?
Obstruction and suppression, apparently.
She does speak her mind.
Mistress Baldessian, our records show you facilitated the Scions' entrance into Sharlayan by claiming them as assistants for your organization.
Yes.
We are aware of your investigations. After alerting the major institutions to the presence of potential troublemakers, we received word from an Archean custodian.
Ooh.
A group operating under the auspices of the students, skulking about Labyrinthos and engaging in clandestine behavior.
Clandestine? We may not have entered Sharlayan as Scions, but we did naught to conceal our identities.
That's a lie.
Our only purpose in this city is to seek the truth. I can think of no reason why our actions should warrant the Forum's intervention.
'Tis not our way to discourage the pursuit of knowledge, but the timing of such pursuits must be considered, not to mention their potential impact.
Knowledge
With the
above
world in
more.
chaos, we, the true caretakers of wisdom, have committed ourselves to an undertaking that demands the utmost discretion. And we will not risk its success by turning a blind eye to disruptive foreign elements in our midst.
Foreign elements.
What then is to be our fate? Will you put us on a ship back to Eorzea?
The Forum will convene to examine your case. The results of said inquiry will determine your future in this city. As for your absent companion, he has already been detained.
Ooh.
Graha! But why? Is reading a crime now, too?
Oh my god.
Reading is encouraged, celebrated even. Not, however, of the volumes shelved in the restricted section of the library.
He is an Archon.
Refusing to comply will only make matters worse. Let us instead treat this as an opportunity to open a dialogue with the Forum.
He is an Archon. He can do whatever he pleases to, technically.
Silence is often one's best defense. I would advise against prolonging the proceedings with frivolous discourse.
He wouldn't listen anyway, fortunately.
But enough. This is not the place for debate. The rostra await.
Knowledge seeketh no man, I think was the inscription in front of Alshire. And the motto of Sharlayan.
Forgive me. I was careless.
We would have been detained regardless. This way, at least, we managed to stay together.
We go together.
I trust your time within the Forbidden Archives was well spent.
Good.
The Forum will come to order.
Lol.
This inquiry is now in session. As Speaker-elect, I will be presiding over the day's proceedings. Master Fortuner, would you be so kind as to restate the matter which compelled you to summon your colleagues with such urgency?
Yes, please do.
As you are all aware, we recently denied Eorzea's request for Sharlayan assistance. Since then, certain individuals dissatisfied with our decision have taken it upon themselves to interfere with our work. They entered our nation masquerading as associates of the students of Baldessian. But these malcontents are better known as the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
Sadly, we only have 6 people here.
These militants wield influence with both the Eorzean and Eastern alliances, and are inextricably involved with the crises presently afflicting the world at large.
Yes, we're trying to stop it, you idiot.
Loose in our city, these warmongers sought to meddle with and expose matters of state secret. What are they, if not a dire threat to be expelled?
You have tarnished the good name of the students. Galuf would be ashamed.
That is the first time we're seeing Kryl without her hood.
Galuf Baldessian was never one to forsake his fellow man. Even if this nation closed every door and retreated from the world, he would have found a way to help the Scions, help every soul of this star fight back against the coming doom.
A terrible enemy stands poised to lay waste to all we hold dear. In the face of such madness, Eorzea reached out to Sharlayan, a respected ally, in the hopes of forming a united front. Was your curt dismissal truly the best you could offer?
Damn.
Or are you so preoccupied with your momentous duty of an age long past that even the end of the world is unworthy of your attention?
Whence came this revelation?
From the mouth of a Forum member within fortuitous earshot.
Then it seems your findings support my own.
Oh no.
The reason I visited the restricted shelves was to study records of the Forum's policymaking process, to better understand the historical trends underlying their most major decisions. At first glance, the positions of neutrality in war and the accumulation of knowledge above all else appear constant and consistent, the unchanging pillars of Sharlayan society. And once upon a time, I might have left it at that. These days, however, I am more attuned to the subtleties of governance, and so I noticed something
Odd.
odd. From a particular point in time, the purpose of these policies shifted.
Oh?
No longer was knowledge preserved for the benefit of society. Rather, society was to be gradually reshaped to ensure the preservation of knowledge.
That is a shift.
The most conspicuous and telling change was the one which befell Labyrinthos. Once little more than an oversized storehouse, an enormous allocation of funds saw it transformed into an advanced research and archival facility. I also discovered a fascinating account on the finances of our Dravanian colony. The
Oh?
settlement attracted students from far and wide, and the connections and tuition fees thus acquired were funneled into further improvements for the archives.
Oh.
Now, there is no question that our nation's progress is tied to the acquisition of wisdom. Nevertheless, the vast resources diverted for this purpose borders on the obscene. But returning to the matter of when, our change in course appears to have been made some 270 years ago.
The very same period when Sharlayan scholars in the hinterlands began a formal study of the ethereal sea.
Mm-hmm.
You found something, did you not? And whatever it was, gave rise to your oh-so-important duty.
Oh my god.
Mind your tongue, Archon. If you had seen...
Oh. He can't speak.
Yes. We are bound by a duty we cannot ignore.
Interesting.
Knowing this, what would you have us do? Abandon our vital work and join you on the field of battle?
What
We
made
will
him...
never choose the way of the sword. We will fulfill our mission not through strife and bloodshed, but survival.
What made him choke?
Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
Do as you must, then. But we Scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
What made him choke?
Such misguided zeal.
Father, Master Fortuno,
Ooh.
I fail to understand the stance you have elected to take. But by the same token, I have yet to find a compelling argument to counter the challenge you put to us in Gridania. Still, in the midst of my uncertainty, I must trust in myself to do what is right, as others have chosen to trust in me. So I will continue, as I always have, weighing the consequences of my every action, and allowing my hope for the future to inform my decisions.
That's quite enough. Have you all forgotten the reason for this assembly?
Skolok Monteshane. He's the head of the studium and an old friend of my grandfather's.
Honestly, every discussion devolves into some interminable debate. Terrible habit. Let's return to the topic at hand.
Sounds like a plan, yes.
By their own admission, these scions have resolved to fight alongside the Eorzean nations against the doom which swift approaches.
Yeah?
But there exists no evidence of an attempt to incite our citizens to do the same. Furthermore, while our decision may well have been the correct one, we cannot simply bull our way through these disagreements without inviting doubts or objections.
I want to know what made that guy choke.
Put themselves in their place. Who among you would leave a tome unopened if an elder forbid you read it with no reason given? Now, if we're to quell further discontent, then we must conclude this matter with a fair and even hand.
Sounds like a plan.
Order! We will have order!
We won't. There will be no order.
Master Monteshane raises some valid points. Keeping such concerns in mind, I propose we enforce the following measures. Until further notice, the students of Baldessian are to cease any and all activities within the domain of Sharlian. You will also refrain from any further investigation into the Forum's decisions and duties. Failure to comply with these restrictions will result in the immediate expulsion of your Scion associates. Let us put this judgment to a vote. All in favor, raise your hand.
That is quite a few.
I count 51 for and 48 against. The proposal is passed.
That's a close one, actually.
Students, scions, you have heard the Forum's judgment. Pray abide by it, or face the consequences. Honored members, I thank you for your time. This inquiry is concluded.
I'm still so tempted to actually count the number of seats in the forum to figure out if it is indeed 99. What made that person choke on their own words? He was about to say something, and I want to know what it was. Thank the gods for Scholar Monteshane. I absolutely love arguing in circles. Oops. My father may be right, that I am still groping in the dark for answers, but I needed him to know that I would never stop searching. I owed that much to our world, and myself. You may encounter some raised eyebrows, but do continue to claim the students as your sponsor whensoever the need arises. I believe in the guiding principles of the science, and I know my grandfather would have as well. We shall. I apologize for the trouble I've caused you. I was pondering the significance of what I just read as I left the restricted section. I knocked over the security mehmet on my way out. I promise to be more vigilant next time. Aww. You dork. Well, at least we've been allowed to remain in the city, and our endless investigations have not been in vain. We now know that this mysterious duty of theirs began with whatever the Forum discovered in the Ethereal Sea. With our freedom so sorely curtailed, however, we will struggle to learn aught more of substance here in Charlian. Alright. State Visitor! I'm basically just waiting for this to wrap up. The overall picture has grown clearer, yes, but it's in spite of the forum being so maddeningly vague about this duty of theirs. Why are they so reluctant to explain their actions in plain words? Survival, come what may, is father's work so vital that it takes precedence over his own family? Alfino, Alize, it is you! Ah, when I heard you've been dragged before the forum, I came as swiftly as I could. I'm so very glad they allowed you to stay. Mother. She lives. She exists. That's good to see. I forgot her name. Obviously something with A. Emiliens Levelieu. At your service. And you find people must be the signs of the seventh dawn. How lovely it is to finally meet you. Mother, please, we don't wish to make things difficult for you. If word reaches father that you were here... Oh, bother that. I am to be chastised for speaking with my own children. I am well aware that you and Master Fortuno... sorry, are not, on the best of terms at the moment, but I've been absolutely desperate to see my darlings again. You will come by the house, won't you? I have gifts waiting. The timing couldn't be better. As matters stands, we shan't be going anywhere until we discuss matters with Fancourt's group and reconsider our options. Go visit your home. We'll be back at the annex when you're ready to rejoin us. I'm not sure. Wait, Laverne, what do you think? Laverne? The Laverne Taubane? Oh no. What a splendid day this has turned out to be. Champion of Eorzea, I insist that you join us. But we must be quick about it. Not for my own benefit, but should my husband return and find you enjoying our hospitality, the servants will be made to suffer the consequences. Laverne, if you would be so kind as to escort my children to the estate. I love their mother so much. And then she was gone, and with her any opportunity to protest. Indeed, the matter is settled. Enjoy yourselves, you three. Oh, that is amazing. Quest accepted. I'm not sure accepted is the correct term here. Oh, that was amazing. I'm sure Alfino thinks nothing of it. He invited classmates over all the time, but I wasn't the most... It was a different time for me, alright? I apologize, my mother is not one to take no for an answer. Still, I'm glad, relieved even, to see her in such high spirits. What say you, Oliver? Though it seems we shall have little enough time to enjoy it. Will you accompany us on our visit home? Oh, I absolutely fucking will! Fine, if you're going, then let's get it over with. But be sure to stay in the entrance hall. No peek into our private chambers. Thank you very much. Oh no. Why ever not? Your room was always perfectly neat and tidy. Everyone has things they'd rather keep to themselves, don't they? Cherished mementos you couldn't bring yourself to throw away. Childhood toys. Oh my god, this is amazing. I mean, God, never mind. Let me say this that way. Straight down the stairs. Come on. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, this is so good. I can't stop grinning. This is amazing. Oh, wonderful. The view from the bridge. When Alize and I were little, this bridge was as far as we were permitted to wander alone. I say alone, but my mother, our servant, was always somewhere nearby, keeping a watchful eye. And now look at us, traveling to different continents, different worlds, even. As children have known, I would often wait here for our father to come home from work. It must have been a day when his meetings ran long, because I remember growing restless and leaning out of the railing to watch the water rush by. Father, of course, arrived at the exact moment, came pounding down the path in a panic, crying out my name. Aww. This is amazing. I love it. It isn't quite the view, by the way. Oh, this is amazing. Oh. There's another area. We used to come here all the time with grandfather. In summer, I would dip my hands and feet into the fountain and splash about. Not often, though. Even back then, he wasn't very fond of playing in water. He'd make any excuse to avoid it. Which would explain how I come to swim like an oak, and he sink like a stone. Ah, yes. This is where I first practiced magic on an actual person. Alize had fallen, you see, and scraped her knee quite badly. So I tried casting a simple restorative spell I had only just learned. How she smiled when the wound closed, the giant relief. That was, I believe, the very moment I chose the healing arts as the main subject of my studies. Oh, that's cute. Oh God, I wanna... Oh. I don't think there are too many more areas like this. I wish they would show up on the map. I wish they would actually show me how many of these are there. Oh well. Like, I don't want to wander around too much. And I would assume that there are only as many, like, on the way, actually, and not, like, all over the place, suddenly. And here you are at last. Please, do come in. This is amazing. I love it so much. Oh my God.
Welcome home, my lady.
That's a lot of servants.
What are you gawping at?
Just admiring the craftsmanship.
Oh, I suppose I never gave the decor much thought. I'm glad that you approve, I think.
Oh, this is wonderful.
Lord Fortuneau is not to hear of this visit. And I should also like the children to have their gifts, ere my husband makes his return.
As you wish, my lady.
Oh. Is this where Alphino turns into a sage?
Master Alphino, Mistress Alice, if you'd accompany me upstairs.
We shan't be long.
I mean, that would explain where he got it from. We haven't seen him fight yet. And she might get her new outfit.
The twins have been sending letters home from time to time, recounting their latest adventures.
Oh, that's how she
I'm
learned.
sure they withhold certain details, of course, if only to keep me from worrying. Yet a mother worries all the same. In the early days especially, I tried to support them as best I could, sending the Scion's coin and other such donations.
Of course it was her.
Fortunately, they have found the strength to overcome adversity time and time again. Their words grow more confident with every letter, their depictions more vivid.
Oh.
The triumphs and defeats, the joys and sorrows. It is clear that they have come to find value in every experience. But of those they treasure most, it would seem that meeting you might be the most impactful. Why, since that fateful day, I do believe there has not been a single missive in which you were not mentioned by name.
Oh no. That facial expression is amazing.
'Tis plain they care for you, and I am glad they have such a steadfast companion watching over them.
Mm-hmm.
Under normal circumstances, I would offer you tea, but alas, these are anything but. In any event, why don't you keep me company whilst we await my children's return? Perhaps you might regale me with a tale or two of your exploits.
What would I tell her about? Oh, I have no choice. Okay. Or, I have no, like, dialogue options here. But I do believe that it would make sense that Alphina changes to Sage here and now. Yep. She gets her new outfit.
Gifts. I wasn't sure what to expect. Mother,
Dang.
Oh, look how well it fits you. And the style is to your liking?
It's perfect. Exactly what I would have chosen. But please, tell me you had something different made for Alphino.
Naturally. You are hardly little children anymore.
Good. About time you
While
can...
I shall miss dressing you in those precious matching outfits, I must respect the individuals you have grown to become.
Good.
See for yourself.
Ooh.
Thank you for the splendid clothes, Mother. Stylish, comfortable, and eminently practical.
Wow. It looks
I'm
good.
so glad you like them. They are, however, missing one final touch.
Oh. Yeah.
Master Alphino.
Here he comes. He gets his new lifts. Yeah.
Wait. Are these...
A sage's tools of the trade. They belonged to your father.
Wow. Belonged is an
Though he
interesting...
may as well be chained to his desk these days. As a student, he was often called upon to venture into the field. He wielded those armaments, both to heal and to harm in no few battles. None so fierce as those you two have braved, perhaps, but battles nonetheless.
Interesting.
Thus did I pull them out of storage, to show you that he was not always the man who stands in vehement opposition to you now.
This is fascinating.
And also because it would be a terrible waste of ridiculously expensive House Leveilleur commissioned artistry.
She has a point there as well. And here's the jobstone.
I am told these devices are quite difficult to master. But someone of your extensive experience should soon have them darting about with grace and aplomb.
He is actually getting his
May the
jobstone.
wisdom in that crystal serve you well. And please, try to find common ground with your father, that you might come and go without need for this awful subterfuge.
Damn. That's a big stone, by the way.
Mother. I promise.
My final gifts to you, before you run off, are an observation and a suggestion. Firstly, Fortuno has ever been a serious man, but it was only after you were born that he truly lost himself in his work. I may not know the Forum's inner workings, but I know your father's. The timing of that change in him holds some significance. Secondly, do not seek to best your father with words.
Actions speak louder than...
Far better that you simply show him. Let him discover the merit of your actions, after they cannot be undone.
Oh my god, I like her so much.
Oh, Mother.
We shall take your wisdom to heart. Thank you again for these gifts, and farewell for now.
Safe travels, my children. Eat well, stay warm, and keep your friends close.
Okay, that was unexpected, but lovely. I love every single second of this. Alfred and Alizé are still here. Okay, perfect. Let's talk to both of them. And that was that. Only the gods know when we will be back again. Rather late, I suppose. Thank you for indulging Mother's request. I can see it meant a lot to her, and I shall refrain from inquiring as to the content of your private conversation. As it was all too brief. For now, however, it will have to suffice, as will these tokens of home that we carry with us. These gifts to help us remember who we are and whence we came. But enough sentimentality. Let us return to the annex and rejoin our companions. Sorry about that. Right. Let's go to the annex. Boop. Okay. Enter the main hall. Gerudo. Alright, let's have a look at everything that is around here. So that is definitely Gerudo. Those are... Huh. Design... Okay, those look like Aetheryte designs? That at least does. Those are islands. This obviously is Eorzea. Airships. Oh, constellations. Interesting. I wish we could read all of this. Or this. And that is our world map. Old Sharlayan, Razatan, Eorzea, well, Aldernart, Verbrand, Ilsebard, Olfart. Huh. Interesting. Ooh, the Crystal Tower, I suppose? Wow, that is amazing. Holy crap. Can I have that as a poster, please? What is this? Oh, that's Doma. Okay. Just closer. The story of King Mughal. Oh, amazing. I'm not entirely sure what that one is, but I suppose someone would know. Someone would recognize this for sure. I love it. Okay, let's talk to everyone real quick. Vitra and his alchemists have prepared us for a foray into the tower. What we may accomplish within is its twisted halls remaineth to be seen. The conflict between Nidhogg and I is in the past, and though they were brothers, it has no bearing on my view of Vitra. Above all else, he is a leader of men, not an enemy. He would hardly dedicate his life to this endeavor if he bore our kind any ill will. Suppose he has more to say? Yeah. That our Sodara languish in Teletheric chains doth forewarn us of the nature of our foe. Thus the gods of Fafnir who will be summoned to dwarf us. It will be. Don't think for a moment I'm jealous of Arfinir's new weapons. They are far more suited to him than me. We left for Eorzea in matching outfits, but our styles, both fashion and fighting, have long since diverged. If anything, I'm proud of the differences between us. If I intend to master these sages' armaments, that will mean learning to imbue them with the same ether that I poured into Moonstone and Obsidian. It is difficult to grasp the essence of such an entity. For me, it will help to think of the Nulufs as allies in battle, simply a new form of the energy which went into manifesting my carbuncle companions. For us to feel responsible for the schism of House Levelier would be pure hubris. After all, we were merely on the outskirts of what is, essentially, a family affair. And yet neither can we claim the indifference of strangers. To hear their mother welcome them so warmly was a joy, and a relief. As curious as I am to learn the truth of this duty, I wonder what else the Forum is hiding. A calamitous secret whose origin lies in the inferior sea. Duplicity aside, however, I do not believe Master Fortunal means us ill. Even the harsh words he had for his children stemmed not from anger, I think, or desperation. Alright. Alright, let's start with Thankwood. Just as I was getting used to balmy Fafnir, we are back in chilly Charlian. Take care not to catch your death, eh? We need you for battles to come. Now then, everyone appears to be here, so let us take stock of all the developments and discoveries. Enjoyed your time with the Leveliers, I hope. I would ask how the twins fared, but their new outfits tell the tale. I only hope we can help them reconcile with their father, that they might return home one day with their heads held high. In the meantime, we edge ever closer to the secret the Forum strives to hide, and the flower bequeathed to you by Heidelin is sure to guide us going forward. I'm confident that once we've heard your report from Fafnir, we'll be well equipped to plot out our next move. I returned by way of Kitty's experimental aetherite. That, yet I must say, it was far less taxing than our first attempt. Apparently, we need only ask if we wish to use it again. Now, I'm not terribly eager to repeat this experience, but if you willing to test your fortitude for the sake of technological advancement, then who am I to stop you? Alright, that's the same. That's also the same. And that's also the same. Okay. Just thankwood. In the dark of the tower. Yay! Yay! we made it! The first quest at level 81. Oh my god, that took ages. Ages, I tell you. Oh, that's not quite what I wanted to post there in chat. Whoops, I missed a rather important little detail there. Yoink. Oh my. There we go. Perfect. Okay. In the dark of the tower, level 81. Yay! Since there has been progress in both investigations, shall we share the findings of our respective locales? Yes, please. We can finally go to the first dungeon.
Your time in Thafnir has certainly been eventful. In my opinion, carrying out Vitra's request and assaulting the Tower of Zot should be our highest priority.
I agree. While I still have questions concerning the Forum and their grand undertaking, we have all but exhausted our avenues of investigation. Simply pressing them any harder on the subject will almost certainly result in our expulsion. Therefore, I suggest we explore the ethereal sea connection by way of a letter to Master Matoya, then make our way to Thafnir.
That sounds good.
Even with the protection these talismans afford us, what can we hope to achieve once inside the tower?
That is a good
According to
question.
Orenvold and Fodola's report, they were unable to free the Emulger. Worse, their attempts triggered the tower's defenses, which led to a summoning of Luna Afrit.
What does it tell us that the Spires even have such defenses?
But there's something to defend against.
Simply pulling a prisoner from the wall is fatal. Thus the direct approach is doomed to failure from the outset. Any further measures to dissuade such actions seem unnecessary. Unless, of course, there is a way to free the prisoners without killing them. Then it stands to reason that any intruders will be met with overwhelming force.
The towers appeared throughout the world in but the twinkling of an eye. 'Twas by magical means these structures were raised, I surmise. The
Yes.
spire thus conjured must needs be maintained, and I suspect an arcane catalyst, some manner of core, doth lie hidden within. Destroy the core, and the tower ceaseth to be, thus liberating the captives without harm.
Unless they, you know.
So we can hope. And I would prefer to enter the tower with a working theory than with no plan at all.
Assuming Ishtola's reasoning is correct, the chances of the defenses remaining dormant are small to none. Any
That's fine.
trials will have to be dealt with, and defeating one will likely only lead to the summoning of another. Our every victory will only compound the prisoner's suffering.
So let's make it swift.
May we not then divide our forces? Those proficient in healing will focus on sustaining the captives. That duty can be covered by Urianger, Kryl, Yostola, and myself. The remaining scions will proceed with the search for the core. Admittedly, this strategy puts both parties at greater risk, but it should bolster our chances of saving the Arcosodra by a considerable margin.
I like the idea. I sure often know it's in the right group. Wait, what did he say? That duty can be covered. Yeah, healing would be for Uran, J, Kral, Yoshtola, and myself. Like himself, that is. Alizé is not going to heal. That's stupid. But yeah, Alfino is more of a healer. So let's ask this. It makes sense to ask that question.
If you're to fight primals, then you'd best have at least one healer with you.
And I am more than happy to fulfill that role. I found wielding a sage's armament to be rather intuitive, and look forward to testing them against a more challenging foe.
You just told me how hard it would be to figure them out.
We have a plan.
Sure.
All that remains is to carry it out. I will inform Rads at Han of our movements, so let us make our preparations and regroup near the tower.
The military post in what's left of the Hamsa hatchery should serve as a convenient staging point.
That sounds perfect. And remember, the experimental aetherite at the confluence is there for those who need it, so there's no excuse for being late.
Wow. Okay. Let's go. Thankfully, I can just teleport over to Razat Han once the game loads. Okay. Yeah, it's like, oh my god. What? Why does it show there? Razat Han is there. That's a little bit weird. Come on. I know this is Ilsabard, but like, whatever. Anyway.